We know what you are. We know where you are. And the United States of America will not rest until these treacherous aliens have been purged from the surface of Earth. God bless humanity, and God bless the United States of America. Mr. President, that was a really stirring speech, sir. Even Captain America couldn't have put such a rousing succession of words together. Thank you. I write these things myself, you know. Of course, sir, of course. Now, if I could just have a few minutes of your time, I just wanted to go over a few things you just said in your speech. Of course. Anything to assure the American people that their safety is my #1 priority. Thank you, Mr. President. So, let's start off with the big one. America has just declared war on all aliens. Darn right, these shifty shape changers are just the tip of the spear. We need to eliminate these invaders and keep our planet solely for us humans before their invasion is complete. So does America possess any space-age weaponry that can combat these aliens? Honey, we have goddamn Captain America and Iron Patriot. That's all I need. Well, actually, you don't have Iron Patriot anymore, sir. And, actually, Captain America seems to have decided against working solely for the American government. Huh? John turned his back on the country? John? Oh, no. Sorry, I meant Captain America. You know, the one that was Falcon. He and his partner Falcon have decided to take some time away from working as private contractors for the US government to pursue a more worldly approach. Plus, he's friends with a lot of aliens, so I really wouldn't count on him or, honestly, the rest of the Avengers to come to your side either. The Avengers are full of aliens. Well, yeah. Like who? Well, I mean, just for starters, there's Thor. Thor, the god of thunder? He's an alien? Well, yes, sir. He comes from another planet. I mean, he comes from a city floating out in space. It's not really clear what Asgard is. It's kind of like a floating island. Have you seen those maps from Super Smash Brothers, you know, where it's just kind of an island floating out in space? They kind of just live in there now. But yes, all Asgardians are technically aliens. So does that mean the United States is going to have to invade Norway in order to fight King Valkyrie and the rest of the Asgardians? Not to mention all the alien immigrants that are living in Norway right now, that are living in New Asgard. Does the US have the right to invade New Asgard? Well, hang on a minute. I don't want to bomb New Asgard. I love Infinity Cones. The Reality Stone swirls are the best. Well, I guess that's a good thing. But then, is the United States prepared for the Chitauri? How about the Sakarans, or the Kree? Do you know that nowhere can actually teleport? Can we fight off a giant celestial head? Well, we have hammer. Do robots count as aliens, sir? Because then you'd have to fight the Vision and the Eternals, who've basically been humanity's shepherds since the beginnings of the first human civilization. Oh, and remember that red guy that hovered over the planet for a few seconds, and that giant stone hand coming out of the sea? Oh yeah, that hand would make a great military base. No, sir, those are celestials. Beings that have created entire galaxies with their energy force. How is the US military gonna stand up to that kind of power? Captain Marvel? Actually, she's half alien, sir. You have to kill her too. Damn it, just run me through the damned list of aliens you seem to somehow be aware of. Well, let's just start off with the easy ones. There's these people called the Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, they're full of multiple god-powered individuals. They've got Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Drax, Nebula, Gamora's alternate timeline clone, Adam Warlock, Cosmo the Space Dog. Does Cosmo the Space Dog count as an alien? I feel like he counts more as a communist than anything. Sorry, did you just say alternate time? Oh right, yeah, there's this guy called Kang who might be a human, but technically since there are so many multiversal variants that appear alien, I feel like technically you've declared war on Kang. And most likely the rest of the quantum realm too, I suppose. But does the quantum realm count as aliens, Mr. President? Or is it just humans from an alternate universe? Wait, what did you mean by multi? Oh, and Thor has a daughter now, who's possibly the entire known universe shoved into the body of a 10-year-old, or a 10-year-old girl with the powers of the entire universe. I don't know which is worse. Speaking of which, do you remember that the Skrull who heroically died trying to save your life has a daughter? Oh yeah, that guy. Well, it turns out his daughter has ingested the DNA of every single superpowered being in our universe, including the Hulk, Captain Marvel, and Thanos. So she's kind of another god being that we're at war with, who can shape change, and also we currently don't know the exact whereabouts of. Well, now you see why we need to mobilize and wipe these non-Earthlings out. Gimme Nick Fury. We can always rely on good old Nick. Sir, his wife is a Skrull. Oh, come on. Now I gotta worry about legalizing alien marriages too? Nah, nuke 'em all. Sir, what even is SWORD? It seems to just be a massive space station owned by the US government, but it's filled with aliens who work for Earth/the US government, I guess? SWORD also seems to be the only one who have access to jump gates, which by the way, what are we using the jump gates for? If SWORD are the only ones who can travel intergalactically, then what will the US military do? Will the US military take over SWORD? Will SWORD become a part of the US military? Is SWORD already part of the US military? What happened to S.H.I.E.L.D.? Well, hey, hang on a minute. I'll just answer one question at a time. I'm gonna say nice and clear. They're over American space, so SWORD is ours. I mean, technically? But they're only over your space for a few hours. Just nuke it. Alright, sir, well, okay, we're gonna nuke Sword. That's just fine, sir. But there's this woman in Jersey called Kamala Khan, who is technically from an alternate dimension, so I believe that means that the US is at war with every universe and alternate dimension where there are aliens. Not to mention all the timelines, of course, which the US military can, of course, handle, of course. But what about Atlantis, sir? Are the fish people considered people, or are they just fish now? Fish people? What kind of a world? What about the magical users of the world, sir? There was that massive kaiju Egyptian god battle in Egypt a few months ago. Do Egyptian gods count as aliens? Well, if Thor counts, then that means they have to, too, right? I suppose you're right, Mr. President. But what about Doctor Strange? He has a green bipedal talking bull training in Tibet. Does the green bipedal talking bull in Tibet count as an alien? Green bipedal? You made that one up. Does Spider-Man count as a human? Well, I suppose if he was bitten by a spider from Earth, I suppose he's okay. Oh, well, that's good to know. Now, how about the Flurkins? The Flurwhats? The Flurwhats? Flurwagons? Alien cats, sir, that can swallow entire armies in one go, if they're hungry enough, you know. The US military has declared war on cats and ducks, sir, and a few Native Americans who have come from a strange mystical cave, and the Pakistani family of Kamala Khan, since they also descended from an alternate dimensional being. And the goats! You've declared war on the goats, sir. And also, I suppose, the rest of the gods, too, including the Wakandan god Bast, who I think the Wakandans might just want to defend from the United States killing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, what else? Who else is out there? There are these giant indestructible beings that spit out cosmic energy that burns people down to their bones. An army of genetically enhanced super children. The X-Men, I guess. Might as well add them on. Galactus, Silver Surfer, Lady Death, The Watchers, Howard the Duck and Darcy's Kid, a being who looks uncannily like Jeff Goldblum, Harry Styles, werewolves, vampires, dragons, Iron Fist, Shang-Chi, his sister, their alternate dimension of Asian super warriors, Blade, although I hear he hasn't been seen in decades, the Ravagers, the Nova Corps, the Collector, the Dark Elves, the Light Elves, the Frost Giants, the rest of the Nine Realms, most likely Hell. I don't know, there's two different versions of Hell. There's the Norse one with only one L, and then there's the Christian one with two L's, or at least a dimension close enough to Hell, the Sovereign System. Oh, and of course, the god of stories, Loki, who holds together the very fabric of our multiverse. But I'm sure a drone strike to the center of the multiverse will be just fine. And we can't forget those lovely sex robot worker people. Sir, can we also discuss how you've just told an entire world that there are aliens living among them that can shapeshift and want to eliminate all human life? Don't you think this will turn the world against itself instead of against the aliens? Everyone now fears their own parents. People are being gunned down in the street, and the usual cracks in society become rifts of everyone accusing each other of being an alien. They can't even trust the Avengers, whoever they are now. And what do you have to say to the Skrulls and the other alien species that are just trying to live their lives here peacefully? If you hate aliens so much, why did you fill Sword up with tons of them? Does the US have any actual anti-Skrull capabilities? How can the military fight against an enemy that makes them doubt their own orders? Also, Mr. President, and I don't mean to be such a worrywart, but you did pass this declaration of war on all aliens across the multiverse through Congress before announcing it, right? After carefully considering your words, I have only this to say to you in response. I'm resigning. Harrison, you deal with this. Marion, well, I guess I'm it now. Let's all just, pretend everything's fine, eh? I gotta get back to the Falcon. I mean, Air Force One. Mickey isn't shelling out nearly enough for this gig. Alright, make me president just so I can fight Anthony Mackie and make him look good. Mickey better give me more for this than he did for that Skywalker movie. Well, that was Presidents Ritson and Ross giving their reaction to the US's declaration and subsequent undeclaration of war against all aliens in our insanely twisted multiverse. Oh, it appears I'm being snapped away again, so I suppose I will see you all again in 5 years. This is Fornian signing off. Back to you in the studio.